Hi, I'm Constance Rhodes, and I'm here with Scott Reall. He's the founder of Restore Ministries of the YMCA. Now, if you have been looking around on the site, you've probably seen Scott talking a lot about addiction and recovery, and I wanted you to get to know a little bit about Scott and his ministry at the YMCA. So, Scott, thanks for being here. What can you tell us about Restore Ministries of the YMCA?
Well, for about 10 years, I was the senior wellness director of the YMCA of Middle Tennessee. And during that time, I had issues in my life, addictions, life-controlling issues I was struggling with. And as a senior wellness director, my main job was to sit down with members of the YMCA, assess their fitness level, and then give them an exercise prescription to help them meet their goals. And then I would retest them as time went on. And it was interesting. This is right when I had gone through my recovery. A woman had come and sat down with me, and I was doing her assessment. She had just joined the Y. And she was sharing how her husband had committed suicide. And for about a year, she never came out of the house. And she joined the Y in her first effort, basically, to get back to life. And she had gained like 80 pounds during that year. And what she had done is she had turned to food to medicate the pain. So I'm sitting there with her, I'm thinking, gosh, I can give her the best exercise program and diet in the world, but it's not going to impact why she was, eating food. And that was about the time that, I was really into my recovery, and we were going through the 12 steps. So I went to the director of the Y and I said, you know what, I think if we were to offer the 12 steps here at the YMCA, I think there's tons of people here like me and like this woman who would benefit. And that's how it all began. About 20 people came to that meeting, and that was in the year, probably about 1998. And now we have over 3,000 people have gone through Restore Ministries at the YMCA since. The last 7 years now, full-time, leading this recovery ministry through the YMCA.
That's fantastic. And I like, you guys use the 12 steps, and you reference the 12 steps a lot in some of the answers that you gave us. And since we work a lot with disordered eating, a lot of times there's, a question, 12 steps can't directly apply to eating disorders because it's a little trickier. You can't abstain from food and different things like that. But there are some core principles that really do apply no matter what you struggle with. And can you tell us a little bit about those?
Well, I think probably the number one would be the admission that I'm powerless. I mean, it's just, for all of us, the effort of trying to reform our behaviors and fix ourselves is just going to lead to transferring of one obsession to another. I mean, Bradshaw talks about emotions as energy in motion. I mean, it's going to go somewhere. It's going to pop out someplace in some behavior, some method of trying to control those deeper things. And so the admission of powerless, I think, is probably the number one fundamental. And that is, and it's hard for all of us to accept, because we're just taught to be the opposite. I'm going to fix myself, pull myself up by the bootstraps. And really the way that we're going to get well is when we say, I can't fix myself, that I've come to the end of myself, that I'm powerless, that I need God. I need God to help do for me what I can't do for myself.
Now, a lot of people who may be at our site may not believe in God. So what do you do with that? I'm sure you run into that a lot with the YMCA too. What if a person says, either I don't believe in God at all, or, I've been kind of burned by the church. I've been burned by religion. In fact, I can look back at my issues and see that they were triggered a lot of times by what happened through religion, and they don't feel like they can get close to God. And what can you tell a person like that?
Well, and there's a lot of people like that, unfortunately. But the answer still is that they have got to admit that they can't fix themselves. A lot of times, you've heard of situations where they told somebody, well, as long as you think you can fix yourself, you're still stuck. Even if you've got to make that doorknob your higher power, you got to let it go. And I think that for a lot of us too, that it's letting go of those old tapes about God and those old belief things that have come from a lot of abuse that a lot of us have had. And I've seen so many people relearn a new view of God as they work through. And the beginning of that, again, is just, you know what, I can't fix myself, and I can't even fix how I feel about God. I don't know if I believe in you or any of that. But that's okay. That's a good. We would rather they be authentic and be honest than try to pretend that they're not in. Because God's going to meet us where we are.
Yeah, and He knows where we are anyway. Right?
Absolutely.
So, well, can you tell us a little bit about Journey to Freedom? This is a really powerful book. I know it's being used in groups all over the country, all over the world. And can you tell us, what was the vision for that, and how are you using it?
Well, when we started Restore Ministries, as I was saying, about 1998. we were just doing in-depth 12-step work, and we also did a Meredith Meyer Clinic's Love's a Choice for codependency or destructive patterns in relationship. Those groups are what we would consider, I mean, you're taking action when you're in there. I mean, you got to be committed, because that's tough stuff. Mm-hmm. And what we found was a lot of people were dropping out after the third or fourth week. And that's about the time I read Prochaska's book, Changing for Good. And he talked about those 5 stages that we all go through if we want to change. Pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, and then maintenance. And what we realized is, Prochaska said in his book that only 20% of the population are ever ready to really change, to commit to change, to take action. Yet 90% of the programs are written for, or for that 20%. So we wrote Journey to Freedom to help a person move through those first 3 stages, moving them out of pre-contemplation, basically helping them come out of denial, out of contemplation. And you know what we know about contemplation? A person can be contemplating change their whole life. They can just stay in that stage. And then the next stage is preparation. So our book moves a person through those 3 stages. So at the end of the book, they write their action plan, they commit to it, who their team is that's going to be around them, who's going to support them, you know, what each step is going to be, the specific action steps. And then they go into, whether it's the 12 steps or the Love's a Choice, whatever it's going to be, now they're ready to commit. And the way that we do that is by building awareness around our lives and looking at ourselves. And so that's what Journey to Freedom does. And we just find it's a very gentle path. One lady said it was like getting in 2 feet of water and then eventually going down into the deeper end. It's on their own pace, and that's very needed.
Well, that's good. And, you know, it goes back to what you said about God meeting us where we're at. It's about progress, not perfection. I know you say that a lot, too. So you can learn more about Journey to Freedom. You can click the image of that book cover on this page. You can learn more about Restore Ministries. What's the website they can go to for you?
It's RestoreYMCA.org.
And we'll link to it from here also, and you can learn more about Scott. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Constance.
Good luck on your work.
Thank you.